Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with the weekly comic book roundup. We've made it through, well, most of the roundup, and now it's on the home stretch with this past week's Batman books. Kicking things off, we've got Batman number 128. Where we left off, Batman had become the Batman Azrael once again in an attempt to stop Failsafe. But, Oracle had called for reinforcements, and one of those reinforcements had arrived at Wayne Manor in the form of Superman. Superman demands that Failsafe Failsafe back away from Batman, and Failsafe, unsheathes two daggers, basically daggers made of kryptonite. And while Clark tries to keep his distance, Failsafe manages to get the better of him, but Clark's not alone, as Green Arrow fires an explosive arrow at Failsafe, which sadly doesn't do much good. Marsh Manhunter comes in, as do Hawk Girl and Black Canary. Batman pulls the kryptonite out of Superman and does what he can to bandage Clark's wounds, while Green Arrow and Robin load Superman and Batman onto the Justice League jet with the intention of having Robin get the two of them out of harm's way, while Green Arrow and the rest of the League deal with Failsafe. But Batman tells him to put in specific coordinates. Then it seems that Failsafe is returning to Gotham with the League on his trail. However, Failsafe's led them into a trap, as the block that Failsafe has led the League to is owned by was owned by Bruce and set up basically as a point where he could take out the League. He could take out the League all at once. But Dick rejoins the fight. Batman jumps out of the Justice League jet, basically instructing Tim to make sure Superman survives. But he jumps out of the jet over the ocean, and he's found by Aquaman. He wakes up and learns he's been out unconscious for 2 weeks with in a healing tank, Atlantean healing tank, and Aquaman gives him the news that Gotham has fallen. But some of the Bat Squad are still out there trying to resist. Most have been captured. Shows Oracle having been seemingly hooked up to something. But Bat signals are erected. The old ones destroyed. New ones are erected to shine as big a bat signal as possible over the city in an attempt to get Batman to show up. Our backup story deals with the Batman of Azrael, and mainly Bruce is kind of delving into how this identity was created. It was said to be an isolate. Basically, after some strange methods that Bruce used to get a better understanding to fight crime, he created the Batman as an R identity, the pure Batman. There are hints that it's tied to the name is actually tied to the night that Bruce became Batman. Zero and R being reminiscent of Zorro, after all. But Gordon calls Batman, wanting to meet with him on the roof of the GCPD alone, without Robin. But it's bad. Joker seems to be another Joker toxin attack. But looking at the crime scene, the pictures of the victims, Batman noticed something is off. Joker's toxin usually affects the eyes as well. Your whole face is smiling, not just your mouth. However, these victims, they don't. Their faces are smiling, but their eyes aren't. And he realizes that something's wrong. But Joker's at a lab. He has already killed more than a few people, and not looking too happy with himself at the moment. Or, well, with how things are at the moment. And that is where the issue ends. An interesting backup. The failsafe story's getting interesting. I'm not so sure how I feel about Chip Zdarsky bringing it, kind of redredging up all of the Batman has plans stuff, but so far it's interesting. I feel like Batman's plans for failsafes for other heroes blowing up in Batman's face. It's, I don't know. I don't want to say it's been done to death, but it's been done quite a bit, especially after Tower of Babel. Moving on to our next book, we've got The Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing, #1. Apparently this is supposed to be a follow-up to James City IV's recent Joker ongoing, which lasted for about a year. But Joker's back in town. The narration talks about it starts off by talking about how jokes all work the same way. The man calls the waiter over to his table. "Waiter, what's this fly doing in my soup?" The waiter looks in the bowl and says, "The brushstroke." Horror is, in some ways, goes the same way. But Joker's back in town, and he's gathering people together. But he stayed over a small a restaurant frequented by some low-level goons who've moved a little higher up in the food chain in Joker's absence. The soup he served had an interesting source of meat in it. Long pig. human. But he's gathered up all these various vulnerable hoods and goons and whatnot, and well, he's basically he intends for them to try out to be part of Joker's part of his new crew. No, well, got to make some cuts. Some of those cuts are made with a straight razor. But Black Mask, Two-Face, and Riddler all show up with their own personal armies backing them up. Or more than likely just Two-Face and Black Mask's personal armies. And pretty much tell Joker, you know, we're done with you, okay? Gotham is done with you. And Joker kind of says, you know what? Okay. But there's still one hooded man that Joker hasn't. He shot a few of the people he's had, saying who they were. Oh, this you know, low-level goon in this neighborhood who rose to prominence doing this, you know, so on and so forth. But he doesn't know who this one is, but he shoots the guy anyway in the head. A couple days later, some of Joker's goons are taking care of all the bodies, and the one that was last shot suddenly coughs. But the guy gets up, hits the goon, takes out the goons with a well-placed rock to the head. We transition to Los Angeles. Joker is talking with a local white-collar criminal. Then he manages to... He doesn't want the guy's territory or permission to operate in L.A. No. He wants the guy's office. And so he tosses the dude out the window. And meanwhile, the burlap hooded man is wandering through Gotham and makes his way to Arkham. But the Joker makes manages to cut into all television broadcasts with an announcement that he intends to clean up the streets of the country, except for Gotham's. Screw them. While he's giving his announcement, Joker goons make attacks in various locations. Looks like New York, Florida, in various manners. An ice cream truck running over someone. Another guy fed to alligators. The boss getting electrocuted in the tub. A gas attack. All the usual things. We get various people's reactions to this. Lex, Harley, Jason. And the man with the burlap sack on his head wanders into a little bar in Gotham and makes his way to the bathroom. Well, it's occupied, so he beats the hell out of the person in there. And eventually, he takes the burlap sack off of his head. Revealing himself to be the Joker. And that's where our A story ends. Our B story begins with the aftermath of Power Girl stopping one of Joker's various schemes in Gotham. And he falls for her. But they still don't know where the other bombs are that he's planted in Gotham. So he activates at least one of them, or maybe even all of them, blowing up a bridge, and manages to escape with his goons. But he's trying to figure out how to woo Power Girl. His goons aren't much help, and well, one of them has to get shot for it. With all of the various sound effects being not the usual. The explosions as truth. Jack Frost, when he's shot in the head, and says, "Shucks." But soon after, he goes to speak to Mirror Master. Apparently, somehow, Joker's got into his head that Mirror Master is all about coming people upon the right looks. And so you get Joker doing various Joker looks from throughout cinematic history. They're from throughout his history. We got the Batman '89 look, the Dark Knight Returns look, the New 52 pants, suspenders, and no shirt look, Killing Joke, Dark Knight, Suicide Squad, and then just a nice plain suit, which he extends with some blood from beating someone in the head with a crowbar, with the sound effect Todd. And he admires the way his suit looks and says he'll wear it out. As he walks away from the mirror, his reflection steps out of the mirror. But Joker's trying to get Power Girl's attention, but he must fail. But it seems that his reflection is enjoying a nice dinner with Power Girl. And that is where the story and the issue ends. Interesting start, and the backup story was definitely an interesting one. I believe it's actually set during the Silver Age, and there are nods to a lot of early Silver Age comics throughout. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Poison Ivy number 5. Where we left off, Ivy was had fought an avatar of the Green Man, and somebody else had actually seen it, so she now knows she's not going crazy. But we open with a flashback to Jason Woodrue, the Floronic Man, or the Green Man, turning Ivy into Ivy we know. And a rather monstrous-looking Batman appears in this flashback. But after that, she's fallen asleep at the wheel and loses control, and the image of Batman wakes her up. And a more traditional image of Batman is sitting beside her. Not really, but yeah. So she gets to Woodrue's hideout, gets a blade, and comes face to face with her target, Dr. Jason Woodrue, the Floronic Man. They argue a bit, it turns into a fight. She exposes him to the lamia spores that she's been cultivating. Some additional flashbacks, kind of showing that Woodrue was more about being a big deal than actually doing saving the world or the Green. But a slight problem exposing Woodrue to the lamia spores. He created them. So, what they're supposed to do, well, yes, they do explode. He manages to pull himself back together. because, well, something he made isn't going to be able to kill him. And but he chides Ivy for how she's using the spores, explaining that they were never meant to be a weapon of mass destruction. They were made for biosurveillance and mind control. And just like their wild cousins do when they take over the nerves and synapses of their hosts, well, yeah, it does appear that Ivy is at Woodrew's mercy now, pressing a scalpel to her own neck at Woodrew's command. And that is where the issue ends. I'm really enjoying the Poison Ivy series. So far, it's a good book. I'm hoping that it continues on for quite. I want it to continue on for quite some time, but at the same time, it's kind of just like, stories need to end, So, but yeah, if there's additional concepts to go into, well, then by all means, keep going. But yeah, moving on to our next book, though, we've got Sword of Azrael number 3. Excuse me. Where we left off, the young woman that Azrael had saved was taken by the Templars. So she is she's actually an angel in human form, and so the issue begins with her being shown notes on becoming the angel that they think she is. But she's been brought to a morgue which contains numerous victims of Azrael's. Azrael, in the meantime, is he's aware that the Templars have taken the girl, and he's trying to learn things from Azrael's past. He wakes up, however, in Catalonia, not Greece. With a bloody nose. Apparently, there's been a young boy disappeared as a vigil for him. Jean-Paul asks some questions and finds out that generally around this time of year, kids usually go to check out the inactive volcano, and it's usually one or two, but they never come back. So Azrael suits up, goes to explore the volcano. Turns out, has a vision of Saint Dumas. The volcano is an order installation. The giant throne, and Saint Dumas tell the legend that on the road to Jerusalem, the Templars saw a demon and an angel fighting in the sky. When they vanished, the angel left a gift. It seems to be a mother box. And also, the demon and the angel appear to be Caliban and Orion. But basically, we learn the story of the Order's first attempt at making an angel. And we find out that, yes, he's been cultivating these disappearing kids, their organs, for years. But the creature refers to himself as the Satan. Now, an interesting point, his helmet is oddly similar to that of the 90s hero Aztec. But Jean-Paul and the Satan duke it out, and it seems as though, as the issue ends, Azrael has lost this fight. Interesting, interesting. I'm enjoying this book definitely. It may just be a nostalgia because I do like Azrael, but still, it's fun. It's an enjoyable book so far. Moving on to our last book for the week, we've got Gotham City, Year One, Number One. So this was, I think I'd seen an ad for it, some ads for it a little bit, some of last month's books, but takes place in 1961, March. Um, Helen Wayne, the daughter of millionaire tycoon, Gotham's first citizen, billionaire tycoon Richard Bruce Wayne, hadn't been seen in quite some time, which led to some speculation. So we focus on the focal character is Slam Bradley. Woman comes to see him in his office. He's been given a letter to deliver to Richard Wayne, as well as $100 for his time. Slam has his partner tail the woman and take the 45 with him. Now, apparently, all this is being related to someone else at a later date. So he talks about what Gotham was. We got some indications of what Gotham was like at the time. It was different. It was like a normal city in the 60s, in the early 60s, late 50s, early 60s. No craziness. Yeah, there were problems, sure, but nothing. No clowns trying to poison the water supply. No one holding the city ran hostage with a riddle. You didn't have a former DA with have his face burned by acid. But Bradley arrives at Wayne Manor. Turns out that an old former coworker of his from the GCPD is working security for in charge of security for Wayne Enterprises, and Slam deals with the guy's partner before being introduced to Mrs. Wayne. He explains that he has a letter for her husband. It's given to him, which Slam gives him the letter, and the security detail pull Bradley downstairs and work him over in a meat locker. Comes to talking with and Mrs. Wayne tells what happened the night of the disappearance. And there was apparently a letter left saying, "Have $100,000 paid for child. Child is safe. It won't be safe if you don't pay. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell police so she stays safe. I want to give child back safe for the money. I write here more soon. You know it is true by me with my mark here. The mark being a rather crudely drawn bat." The letter that Bradley delivered states, I write so you know Slam Bradley is to help me. You give him money and he give it to me. I give him child safe, but want home. Mrs. Mommy make her sick. Give Slam money so child good. I tell him where I meet. If there is police, child not safe. No police. $100,000 in small money. Fives, tens, 20s. No counting money. More to come. And so, Slam has been dragged into quite the caper. And gets his nose fixed up after it was smacked up by head of Wayne Security. Gets a phone call. Well, he's instructed to come down to the Gotham South Side. In the at the construction site, the Wayne Industrial Refinery. The Wayne Industrial Refinery is Slam's partner Johnny Boy, shot dead with a 45. 45 registered to Slam Bradley. But Slam came to say, "Well, I was over at Wayne Manor talking about their missing daughter." So, whatever will he say? We discover that at the end that Slam is relating this whole tale in the present to Batman, and that is where the issue ends. This will be this is definitely going to make for an interesting read. I figure that given the sliding time scale of reboots and whatnot, 61 that would be 61 years ago. So Helen Wayne is likely an aunt of Bruce's, and Richard Bruce Wayne is likely the father, Bruce's grandfather, and therefore Thomas Wayne's father. But anyway, that's going to do it for this week. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.